Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the cabin.
Ollie, stop typing. You're on the air. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter with you. Mornings at the cabin on your Wednesday hump day, Wednesday hump. Well, good morning, Ollie. Simpson, how's it going over there? Is it plus 20 already?
Good morning. It is only -2 this morning. We're back into the frigid depths of winter.
Yes. Plus 20 in the Henny Butte was the high across the territory yesterday. That seems ludicrous. It was plus 7 here, and it just felt abnormal. But I can't imagine a midsummer temperature in the middle of March that is disconcerting.
With about 3 feet of snow on the ground.
Yeah, like my driveway now is turning into a puddle because it's gravel and there hasn't been a lot of snow removal from it. So now it's turning into a slushy mess. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Probably shovel it, but I don't know. It's pretty gross out there.
It is. I almost made it all the way to work here in Fort Simpson this morning. I got about 99 1/100ths of the way, and then in the final 10 meters leading up to the door, straight into a massive frozen over puddle that I didn't notice, now soaked up to the knee.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to stop halfway into a highway restroom, and now you're stuck there.
Yeah, I haven't checked those out yet, but I really should.
You really should. Let's take some more pictures. People loved it. People love seeing rancid outhouses in their morning.
Except that one guy.
Right.
He didn't like that.
No, that one guy didn't like it. But he didn't read the article. So what are you going to do?
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Mornings at the cabin. Wheeler, Lekter, and Ollie with you on your Wednesday morning. Ollie is in Simpson, but he joins us via Skype, and we can hear him typing the news. It's actually kind of comforting in the studio here.
It is.
There's like it's like Ollie's playing jazz.
It's like the Office version of waves, just softly in the background.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
soft sounds of Ollie getting work done.
Yeah, that's right.
It's nice.
Yeah.
We
need some Enya in the background or something, I think. So, dis-moi. Ollie, the warm weather is wreaking havoc on the ice roads. The ice road season kind of truncated. They've been on evening driving anywhere between, I think, after 10 p.m. they're allowed to go on the roads now.
Yep.
And that's been in place on some of them for over a week. Now, the rest of them are kind of feeling that pinch. People trying to get into town, get what they need, and get out as quickly as possible. I'm told that one of the ice roads hasn't even opened yet, and I think that's Weckwitty.
Yep, that's right.
And so
I don't think it's going to.
It's not.
How are they going to get that thing open now?
I have no idea. So they're going to be faced with some pretty hefty. There's going to be some pretty hefty money having to be spent to get the supplies in there. Of course, fuel being the chief among them. Any idea? Any word on what's going to be happening there?
In a word, no.
Okay.
I mean, the essential thing is that every day they update this big highways map on the GNWT website that sort of shows you what is still open, what is closed, and what has warnings on it. Green on the map means everything is fine. Red on the map means closed, which is just the Weckwitty Road right now.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the territory is a massive, great big pile of yellow. Basically warning people.
So a lot of dogs out there.
A lot of dogs.
A lot of people using the outdoor outhouses.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
You understand how to read that map. That's it.
P roads.
All
right.
So yeah, basically most roads in the NWT are not great right now. We've got some pictures in our news story that's up this morning, and a bit of video showing like the condition of the Mackenzie Valley Winter Road yesterday was pretty appalling. I mean, the sheer amount of mud. They needed a cat to come in and like break trail essentially.
Yeah.
To allow people to get through.
Yeah, I've been seeing these videos as well. A lot of people posting them. Saw a beautiful picture of a gorgeous F-150 Lariat, covered in mud.
Right.
I'm sorry, but covered in mud and made it all the way home, but just absolutely doused in mud. So that's that. Those are the conditions of the road. People just trying to get through as quickly and as safely as possible. The warm weather obviously wreaking havoc with everything, including one of Hay River's biggest events of the year, Polar Pond Hockey, canceled because the pond is actually literally a pond right now. It's not frozen over. It's a huge mess, and that's a real shame. I know a lot of people in Hay River are really, really disappointed about that. Obviously, people from all the communities are, because it's something that's participated in by a lot of people. So that's a real shame. And I mean, obviously the snow castle as well. And we're waiting to see how this kind of week turns out, because it's supposed to be plus 7 or 8 again today. What goes on? How do they move forward from here, I guess?
Yeah, it's a little bit cooler most parts of the territory today, but a little bit, not by much. So it's still going to be
above zero,
comfortably above freezing.
Yeah.
In a lot of places. The interesting thing to me about yesterday is, up till now, when we've talked about record breaking, we mean in a quite narrow sense. Like, this is the warmest that Yellowknife has been in 15 years on March the 12th.
Yeah.
Which is like, all right, it's a record, but it's you had to work quite hard for it. Right? Yeah. You had to really look, it's March the 18th, and there's never been a warmer March the 18th.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, okay. But yesterday was like, this is the warmest day that anywhere in the NWT has had in a March ever.
Yes.
And it didn't happen on the 31st of March.
No.
It happened in the 19th of March.
And
so it's not like we waited till the end of March just to have a really warm day heading into April. Yep. In the middle of March, it is 20 to 25 degrees warmer in most places than it normally would be.
Yeah, and we are used to like a false spring in most of Canada. You get a little bit of warm before it dumps snow on again. And I imagine that will happen again. And going back to the thread underneath the Snow Castle story, where someone asked, because this was the hottest 17th or 18th in 15 years, one person was saying that, like, well, what caused that heat wave back then? It's like, it wasn't a heat wave. It was one day or 1 or 2 days. And this is a week. And we're talking about not just plus 5 or plus 7 or plus 8 here in Yellowknife. We're talking about plus 20 degrees in the Hanny Butte. And that is unprecedented, breaking the record by how many degrees? Do you know? I heard it was by, I think the previous record was 0 or something on that day. For
Nahanni Butte, your previous record would have been around about 15, so it would have been about a 5 or 6 degree increase.
All right.
For other parts of the territory, it absolutely was an 8, 10, 12 degree increase on their previous record. Wow. Like, just about everywhere from Ulahaktuk to Rabbit Kettle Lake set a record yesterday.
Wow.
It's crazy that we're at the point where, a pond hockey tournament that there's not even any potential saving it now, I guess. It's just completely canceled. March 22nd to 24th, and the weather is way too warm.
Safe within safe within winter and safe within being able to do it. Not this year. And I mean, maybe next year it's minus 50 and we go through this whole conversation again. But
this is the thing. So February in Yellowknife was actually record-breakingly cold. Yeah. It was the biggest deviation the other direction from averages in the last 30 years.
Well,
it was on average per day minus 3.3 degrees based on the averages. It was 3 degrees colder than it should have been every single day, essentially, if you took the averages. But the point of climate change is not that it's getting warmer.
Yeah.
It's that the extremes are more frequent.
Worse. That's right.
And so it's weird. In anyone's language, it's weird to have an exceptionally cold month rammed right up against the warmest month ever.
Yes.
For a March. It's just strange.
And
then you add things like it was really weirdly wet all last summer.
Yeah.
Like a couple of summers before that, we had the worst wildfire season anyone can ever remember.
Yeah.
And so on and so on.
Yeah. And I mean, and that speaks to the conversation again in that thread where people are like, adding their opinions, but not really well researched. They don't really, there's the difference between weather and climate and things like that. Like people taking February being the coldest month in a long time and being like, well, I guess that means climate change isn't real. It's like, no, that's
just why they don't call it global warming.
That's exactly why they don't call it global warming anymore, which is in and of itself is also a conspiracy theory. It's like, well, why'd they change the name? Because it's not warming anymore. So that must mean it's all fake. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to go. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home and go back to bed.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
Good morning, everyone out there. Good morning. We were going to talk about something, and then just as we were coming on to air, Lekter mentioned that he... so Lekter has a bit of a challenge. with his partner, Nicole. They've got a list of movies up on their fridge that they neither of them have seen or one of them has seen that the other has to see. And the list is long and distinguished.
Funny how this is framed as a challenge.
Well, I mean, it is kind of a challenge. You've put it up on your fridge. That's where challenges go, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's a list that you try to check off.
Future wedding invitations. Yeah, that's a challenge.
That's a challenge. Well, it is. I mean, it is. See, okay, let me digress for a second. Whenever I go over to your house, there are always like 4 or 5 wedding invitations on you, and it's just like that. Just sounds awful. I mean, it's wonderful that you have so many close friends that actually want you around.
I'm just a lovely guest.
Well,
they don't actually.
It's mostly Nicole.
No, the current one's me.
Oh, is it
all me, baby?
Yeah, good for you. No, you're a very nice person to have around. I don't get invited to many weddings or anywhere really. But it just sound like I would look at that in my summer and be like, oh God, like which one do we go to, and like which we spend money on and stuff.
Well, you got to go to all of them.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No,
you can't miss a wedding.
No, I think it's very presumptuous to invite people to weddings. Oh God, I got to go to this thing now. Where is it? Winnipeg.
Yeah. Got to bring a gift.
Got to bring it.
Buy a card.
I don't think I've ever brought a gift to a wedding.
Well, that's why you don't get invited to weddings.
No. There's plenty of reasons why I don't get invited to weddings. People don't like fat people.
That's cherry on top.
That's pretty much it. They don't want me around. But we were going to talk about. So you've got this list of movies on your fridge.
Yes.
And last night you started watching Braveheart.
Yeah.
And you'd seen it before. Had Nicole seen it before?
No. Well, I'd seen bits and pieces before. I've never sat down and watched it from start to finish.
Okay.
There's something I'd always come in halfway through and watch a portion of it. Nicole had never seen it before.
Okay, well there you go. And what did you think of the first hour and a half?
Oh my God, Mel Gibson is a dream.
He hit 95 Mel Gibson. That's vintage, man.
I was saying to Nicole, it's look at this guy. This is Mel Gibson in his prime. He was only I think he was subtly racist, maybe
very
at that
subtly
point.
Racist, yeah.
With those blue eyes just burning right through your TV screen.
And
biceps, holy crap.
And despite his accent,
his accent's
which is
not
awful,
not great,
which is one of the worst accents ever committed to celluloid, he is wonderful in the movie. He's fantastic.
I feel like his accent actually starts out okay at the start of the movie, and then
you mean when it's the kid? When it's the kid, it's the kid playing William Wallace and not Mel Gibson? Yeah, it's fantastic.
The very first scene you see Mel Gibson in, he has a semblance of a Scottish accent, and then it just fades.
No.
And,
Ollie, your 2 cents?
Well, first of all, it's a known fact that all Scottish children have American accents to start out with, and then as they grow older, the accent gradually changes. So
that's right.
Mel was absolutely on point.
No one's born with a Scottish accent; they're taught it by their parents and people around them.
It's beaten into them.
That's why it sounds that way.
Now, my primary issue with Braveheart, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Braveheart, if you really want to see Braveheart, maybe turn the show off for a few seconds.
You already ruined it for me, so go on ahead.
Spoiler alert for a 25-year-old movie.
I just want to say, this whole Scotland occupied by we only invaded a year before the battle in real life. We'd only been there a year. We were still looking around. We weren't sure. This has all been blown out of proportion. We just came for a look.
Good people on either side. Yeah. No, I understand. I understand why you would feel so attacked by a movie about Scottish independence, especially when they basically the head of England is a cruel pagan named Edward the Longshanks.
Also, everyone is running around in kilts, which is 500 years too early.
500 years too early. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, for a movie that's, one of those based on, it's based on true events, but it's a mythology, right? William Wallace is basically a mythical creature at this point, but it's historically all over the place. Like the French queen or princess that he hooks up with and later in the movie was 4 when he was actually alive.
Oof.
And things like that. So historically incredibly inaccurate, but set the standard for movie battle scenes and say Game of Thrones and things like that for years and years to come. It's incredibly brutal and incredibly well shot. The music is incredible. It's still one of my favorite movies in spite of all of those other things and Mel Gibson. So
what a great ending to season 8 of Game of Thrones it would be for Mel Gibson and his army to arrive in the final episode and claim the Iron Throne.
Well, they're basically wildlings. But I mean, that's basically what they are. Just like farmers and people living on the lands. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what they are, right? Just wildlings. The free folk.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. There's some ties here between Braveheart and Game of Thrones. I don't know who the Night's King would be, but
are the British the White Walkers?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They're Kelsey.
Yeah, that's right. So the quest for finishing this list of movies on your refrigerator continues. You still have to finish off Braveheart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Sorry,
he dies in the end.
Well, I figured.
All right. Did you?
Yes.
That was actually, you know what? When I first watched
it, 600 years ago, so if he's still alive, then he's doing well.
He's a Highlander. Oh, anyone? Highlander? Oh, he's good. Scottish. He's a Highlander. Actually, I will say this before we go. That was one of the first movies. I think I was 13 when it came out. That I watched. The first time I ever watched it was in a hotel room in Ottawa. I was there for my sister's wedding. We watched it in the hotel room, and I remember crying because it was so sad. But also, it was the first movie where I was like, "Oh, heroes can die." Up until that point, it was just like I was like sure that someone was going to ride in and save him from being drawn and quartered, and then they didn't, and I didn't know what to think. And from that day, I've been the cynical man you see before you.
That was beautiful, the way you brought that full circle back to weddings.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a great wedding.
Yeah.
Great wedding. The last one I was ever invited to. It was my sister's, and she had to because I was in her family. All right. That's our 25-year late review to Braveheart. It's pretty good. Go check it out. Get it on double VHS.
Want the meat and potatoes of the morning show with none of the filler? You've got it with the Mornings at the Cabin podcast. That's a strange breakfast, though.
Just wanted to quickly mention that the Rainbow Coalition will have a screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at Northern United Place on this Friday, 9 p.m. or midnight showings, ground floor or loft seating. Tickets are $10. They're available at the Rainbow Youth Center or Let Me Not. That's awesome. Always wonderful to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show with a group of folks, especially if they know the lines. It's a lot of fun.
Probably a costume thing too.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, when you do screenings of Rocky Horror Picture Show, people get dressed up in costumes. There's a whole etiquette basically to watching it.
Have you ever been to one?
No, but I have participated in the theater show.
I watched it once.
Yeah,
I didn't dress up.
No, of course you didn't. You're not a dresser.
I didn't know what I was getting into. It was the first time I'd ever seen it.
Oh, it's nutty.
It's pretty nutty.
Yeah. Woodstock 50, we found out a few months ago, is going down in August, and they've released their lineup. They released it yesterday, so August 16th, 17th, 18th in Watkins Glen, New York, which is the original spot. It's actually not in Woodstock, New York. It's in Watkins Glen. They're expecting, 400,000 to 500,000 people, and the lineup is decent.
I think they have porta potties this time.
I think they have porta potties this time.
Yeah.
And there won't be any Limp Bizkit.
And water.
And no Limp Bizkit.
No
Limp Bizkit, so they don't have to worry about rioting. Ollie, you mentioned...
they still might have to worry about
there is going to be a pussy riot.
There is a pussy riot.
Day 3.
Yes.
Pussy riot is on the tabulation there. The tabel? What am I saying? On the docket.
Poster?
On the poster. On the docket. Headliners include The Killers, Miley Cyrus, fair enough, Santana, Lumineers, Raconteurs, Dead and Company, Chance the Rapper, Black Keys, Sturgill Simpson, Jay-Z, Imagine Dragons, Halsey, Cage the Elephant. It's pretty awesome. And including some original Woodstockers.
Yeah.
Country Joe McDonald and the Fish, Canned Heat. The Zombies?
I was trying to figure out if the Zombies were in the original.
I think they were.
Woodstock.
Gary Clark Jr.
They would have been around at the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Gary Clark Jr. is in there as well. There's some oldies in there as well. And
of course Santana.
Well, I already mentioned Santana.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
John Fogerty's in there. David Crosby and friends.
Where's John Fogerty?
Who do not include Stills, Nash, or Young. Just friends.
Well, they might.
I doubt it.
Maybe surprise.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome, actually. Greta Van Fleet, our favorite. Ollie, you were mentioning this in the news. You took a look at the lineup. What say you?
So I am intrigued by the fact that you could now get away as an artist by just calling yourself a standard woman's first name and trying to pretend you're the only one on the planet. So on Friday,
Halsey?
August the 16th, among those on
Melanie?
the poster are Melanie and Dorothy. And I'm sorry to both of them, but you can't claim those. It doesn't work the same way as it did with Madonna
mean
and Prince.
something else.
What about Pearl? Not Pearl Jam, just Pearl.
What about Soccer Mommy?
Soccer Mommy did also leap out at me, so
That
to
sounds
speak.
hot.
Yeah, there's some interesting.
Well, if we're gonna
acts
go for words that you can't just use as your name, common. It's a little too on the nose.
There's also Sir.
That's right, sir.
Or is it Sire?
It's probably
no. There's
sir.
no E. It's just Sir.
Yeah. But Imagine Dragons on day 3, right next to Jay-Z. I'm sure he loves that. It looks like a really solid lineup. I am going to try to get tickets to throw at people on the street.
What I can't wait to see, is the inevitable backstage footage when Robert Plant meets up with Greta Van Fleet.
And they both scream at each other.
What is going to happen?
They just scream at each other. And Robert Plant's like, no, this is how you do it. And then the guy from Greta Van Fleet's just like, no. And he screeches at him.
Robert's like, yeah, that, but like an octave lower now,
but like
I'm 70.
Yeah, that's right. But he's also actually doing it, whereas the guy from Greta Van Fleet sounds like he's just kind of screeching in his head voice. Don't get me wrong. I think Greta Van Fleet's a pretty solid band, but like some of that is... Anyway, I love it. Woodstock 50 coming up this summer. Ticket information is kind of sparse right now. Like, I haven't found any ticket information yet.
Yeah.
But the post I actually picked was, bummer, should not call this Woodstock. There are some singers and groups I'd love to see, but not at this venue. Would rather see them in their own concerts. Like, really? She's complaining about Woodstock 50? Watkins Glen is actually where the first Woodstock took place. It didn't actually take place in Woodstock. Old woman yells at cloud. It's a pretty solid lineup, though. I mean, I would like to go there, and I hate concerts.
I think day 2 looks like the one to go to. If you're going to go to one day.
Well, I think you'd go for all 3 days.
But if you're going to go to one day.
Why would you only go to one day?
John Roberts there.
Oh. And the Black Keys. It's pretty good. Edward Sharpe and the Magnetics.
IMDb.
IMDb.
Whatever that is.
That's the Internet Movie Database.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a second D in there. Sorry.
Oh, IMDb.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ollie, you want to go to Woodstock 50?
Come on, then.
All right, let's go.
Everybody jump in the back. We'll go on a road trip.
Yeah, Ollie's got a truck. Let's get out there.
Go to the country.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Last week, a warehouse blew up in Inuvik. 2 people escaped unharmed. That in and of itself is incredible. We saw a picture of what remained of the building and thought there's no way people left that unscathed, but they did, and now we have a video of it. This was posted yesterday. It's on cabinradio.ca and on YouTube. And you see the blast. It just basically takes out 2 walls, and there's a big fireball, and you look at it, and you just those 2. I don't know. Maybe they are some sort of like time bandits or something. They're able to slow time down, move themselves from a situation. I don't see how anyone gets out of that unscathed, but they did. In fact, they were cleared to work later in the day. Who's the jerk?
I think
it was the jerk that cleared them to work.
Well, if they're fine.
Yeah.
He said they made the mess.
That's right.
Should probably clean it up.
You guys should probably get back to work, clean up that mess. Got a lot of work to do.
I've been thinking about it a bit, though.
I would take the afternoon. I'd take a half day on that one.
Well,
the fuel tank blew up in my face.
Coming out of your vacation.
I remember working in Vancouver doing a junk removal, and I stepped in human feces, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the rest of the day off.
Yeah. That's fair.
I didn't get blown up though. That shows my work ethic, I suppose. It was just like, you know what? I just stepped in human poop. I'm going to take the rest of the day.
If they had come back from the hospital after getting checked out and cleared, and then like on their way back stepped in poop, they probably would have been like, you know what? That's too much.
I should give some context to that. That was the same week that I was clearing out a trauma center, and there was 200 needles on a person's apartment floor.
Yeah.
So there was some context there. But these two are legendary. I mean, if they're coming to Yellowknife, I'm buying them a beer or two.
I think
I want to hear the story.
You were saying that Dez is trying to get them on.
I think so. I hope he
show.
is. I mean, they live in the same city. Dez, if you're not getting him on the show, they get him on the show. I'm pretty sure he is, though. And I want to hear the story. I want to hear exactly what happened. It happened on March 12th, so it's a little over a week ago.
Yeah.
You can find the full story at cabinradio.ca. But look at the video. It is. I'm gonna watch it right now.
I've been thinking a bit about it.
It's nuts. The roof pops off. 2 walls come down. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Obviously, the picture that came out last week was crazy. The story is nuts. The fact that these guys just came out unscathed after being in the middle of an explosion that literally blew the doors and walls off of the building.
Yeah.
Just kind of made it fold like a cheap tent a little bit. But I think I have an explanation.
Oh, okay.
Duck and cover.
How much time do you get when it's an exploding gas tank?
Duck and
cover. Fair enough.
If it works for a nuclear blast
or a school shooting,
clearly it's going to work for anything, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Duck and cover.
Well done. Well done. I can't wait to hear the story from their point of view. I don't know. It just kind of happened. You don't really have time to think. Your life doesn't really flash before your eyes because there's no time.
It's the rest of the flash is too bright.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't know what happened. Went back to work the same day. That is, I don't know. I you know what? We don't know if they went back to work, but they were cleared.
That was what we heard.
So not only were they unscathed, like not being injured.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, you can go back to work if you want. Like,
brought out the broom and dustpan.
Yes.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
We were talking about lottery winnings off air, and I wanted to bring it. I wanted to bring the off air into the on air, which is not something you're supposed
always
to do.
Dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Always dangerous. But we were talking about lottery winnings and what we'd do, and Lekter called me out because I'm always complaining about income inequality, which I think is one of the bigger problems that we're facing as a society. But if I won the lottery, I would have a private jet. I would absolutely, because we were talking about
100%.
billionaires owning private jets, and I said to Scott, if you were a billionaire, wouldn't you have a private jet? And you're like, no.
Yes.
I'd give all my money away. And I was like, no, you wouldn't.
You're crazy.
I would have a private jet. I'd have a private twin otter that I could fly around this lake. I would share my private jet, though. You know what I mean? Like, if people wanted to use it, like, just, pay for the gas. And
I'd have a dartboard. I'd have a dartboard of the world.
Yeah.
And then, like, every morning, I'd be like, where do I want to go today? And I would
every morning?
Yeah, I would throw the dart.
Don't you want to stay in some places longer?
Oh, no. Like, my goal is, like, if I win a lot of money, is to give my money, like, away and then disappear and no one can ever find me. And, like, always be in different places.
That is the dream.
But you gave your money away. How are you going to get to different places then?
I would buy a farm and I'd, like, have horses.
And then
I could, like, make money off the horses, but I would always be gone.
What?
How are you making money off the horses?
What is going on?
What are these, like...
This is like... This is your plan. Win lottery, buy horses, profit.
Yeah. Like, no, I would
plan.
sponsor, like, Olympic show jumpers.
You would foster Olympic horses.
I would sponsor them. Like, I would, like, pay for them to ride my horses. And then...
You would sponsor Olympic horses. I don't think there's a lot of money in that.
Oh, there is.
In sponsoring Olympic horses?
When you go to the Grand Prix level, like Olympic, they, like, make, like, $100,000.
That's
like,
not a lot of money. Like, especially if you won the lottery enough to have your own private jet and fly to a new country every day, $100,000 is not that much.
It would be awesome though to like watch my horses and be like, "That's mine,"
that would be cool.
and it's winning.
So you're a horse girl, are you?
I am.
Oh,
yeah. I'm pretty sure I've listened to Ollie at some point. I just don't remember because he was like,
You probably have.
I'm like, I'm an equestrian like Olympic person. And I was
That's
like,
right.
wait, what?
And he did. Yeah, and he did commentary for dressage, I think.
Yeah.
He's probably listening to this right now and going, no, not dressage, show jumping.
Yeah, show jumping.
Dancing.
He was like explaining to me what it was, and I'm like, yeah, no, I used to ride horses for 10 years, so
Oh, yeah?
I already know. Yeah.
Best horse you ever rid.
Her name is Bella.
Best horse you ever rid the world of.
Her name is Bella. She's a thoroughbred.
Yeah.
She was
A thoroughbred what?
Just a thoroughbred.
That's not a species.
A thoroughbred
of horse.
horse.
It's not a breed of horse.
Yeah, it's a racehorse.
A thoroughbred means like it's achieves a certain thing, doesn't it?
No.
I
That's
mean,
a breed of
thinking
horse.
of purebred.
Okay, but that's a
I don't know
thoroughbred
if it's
is not
the
a
same thing
breed
or
of
not.
horse.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes.
I'm looking this up right now.
Do it.
Scott, talk to
100%.
I'm going to go with the horse person.
She was
24
years old.
24 years old.
25 when I started riding her, actually. And she didn't like anybody but me. And we competed at the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto.
What?
And ended up in 11th place.
Wow.
I had my own horse at one point. His name was Bambi. He was also a thoroughbred.
Wait a minute.
So all modern thoroughbred horses can trace their pedigrees through 3 stallions originally imported into England. Wow, there you go.
Yeah, they're race horses. That's what.
But I thought thoroughbreds were like a standard of horse and not like a breed.
Yeah, we know what you thought.
And I learned something today.
There you go.
And here I am mansplaining horses.
Here you are, just mansplaining away.
I am a mansplainer.
I was a wild person when I came to horses because I.
Oh, really? Were you a disaffected? You were a troubled youth saved by horses? Is there a movie here?
Oh, maybe.
With Hilary Swank?
Maybe.
Tobey Maguire.
I started riding horses because, like, I always loved horses, but then my mom put me in acting when I was a kid, and then I, like, took one riding lesson, and I was like, I love this. She's like, you have to pick. And I chose horses, and my first horse I ever had, his name was Bambi, and he was a thoroughbred. He was an off-track thoroughbred. And I was a beginner rider. So I was someone who'd barely ridden horses, and you're not supposed to give a young rider a crazy horse.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not...
A crazy, powerful animal.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm insane, and I want to do this. So they bought me a thoroughbred, and he was like the best horse I ever had. Their first horse I ever rid by myself, his name was Red, and he was an Arabian, and he would just like take off on me, and it was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your parents bought you a thoroughbred.
Yeah.
How rich are you exactly?
Not rich at all.
You got to let us in on this, all right?
I am middle class person.
Listen, you have to choose between horse racing and acting. Those are your only 2 choices.
My stepdad growing up was really into horses. He had like Clydesdales and Belgiums and stuff, and he also bred dogs. Like, he had like blue ticks and blood and all kinds of hounds. Any hounds you could probably think of, he had.
Okay.
It was like this giant breeding operation. We also had German Shepherds, and it was a fun time. It was a really good time.
I mean, my mom's really into horses too.
Yeah.
But she never bought me a horse.
It's expensive.
Then again, I wasn't. So
you were raised on a puppy mill, and
basically, no, it's true.
No, they were actual breeders though, like legit breeders.
No, he just like was he was a.
You're throwing your stepdad under the bus right now.
Well, it's okay. I don't think I'll ever listen to this. Hope not. Hi, if you are.
He's obviously listening right
but
now.
like, he had like a bunch of dogs that were tied up outside, and it was a wild childhood.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like we've learned a lot about you in this one break. So let me break down your chosen career path here.
Yeah.
You were into acting.
Yes.
And more into horses.
Yes.
And like horse racing or like equestrian. What was your end goal there?
So I did
breeding
Western
horses.
I did Western, which is basically like cowboy stuff.
Okay.
And then I turned into English, which is show jumping and stuff like that. So I was jumping about 2'6", so 2 feet 6 inches.
Wow.
I jumped 3 foot once. That was fun.
Huh.
But yeah, and I competed at higher levels of show jumping, so that was fun. And,
Crazy.
And that's all really cool. The part I don't get is
that's cool.
You're heading into radio now.
Yeah.
Where there's not a lot of money.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
There's not a lot of money in acting either.
Well, there can be.
There can be.
If you're good at it. I'm not good at it. No, I took a 2-year acting program, and
how are you at
I started a
horses?
2-year acting program, didn't finish it.
Well, you're natural, so
I just
and you could still play like a 22-year-old, so
that's
you
true.
still got time.
You airbrush my face. Yeah, that's true.
You've cleared up a bit along your hairline there, and
thank you. Thank you for bringing that up.
Here's the thing: I know that my chosen path is not going to lead me to a rich life, but I'll be happy, and that's better for me. I would rather be happy than miserable and have a lot of money.
Well said.
Fair enough.
Well said. Did that get drilled into you your first day at J school?
No,
because that's how they do it.
No,
that's how half the class drops out on the first day.
No,
you're not going to make any money. Well,
my program is amazing, and I loved every minute of it. And and I ended up here, which is like the best thing ever. So
nice.
Oh,
yeah, it all comes full circle.
I think my first year of media school, we had a class of 24 to begin with.
Yeah.
After the first day, I think we had about 12. Because they drilled that one in. They're like, don't get into radio if you want to make money. There is no money in radio. You will be poor. possibly miserable.
They say that in everything.
That's true.
They told that to me in my acting class. They're like, you're going to be poor for the rest of your life.
And your horse racing class.
And then, yeah, and like in journalism, they're like, oh, yeah, there's not a lot of money here. Like, I'm like, I don't care. I'm happy.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
very good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Was a nice glimpse into your life. Thank you very much. We've learned a lot.
Pump their tires a little too. That's always nice.
That's very good.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca.